Although my outfit was a little hot there for a while.
That looked like it was thick.
Because it was a military trench coat that I'd gotten from Navy surplus. So it didn't breathe at all. It was made to be waterproof on a boat, not in a ballroom.
Yeah.
I ain't moving again. This is my last move, Doug.
Where are you gonna move to?
I moved already to Shorewood.
Oh, okay.
Is that clock accurate, Gustavo?
Well, it's 5:29 according to GPS.
Okay.
That looks like 5:29.
I can't see that far, Doug.
Well, hopefully it's right.
So I don't know what that says.
It looks like 5:29.
Okay. That one's a little too fancy for me.
Molly, I didn't bring my calendar. Do you know what the third Tuesday is, or third Thursday in January?
The 4th. All the January dates are right in front of you.
Oh, they are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. I see, said the blind
And
man.
it's not the 3rd anymore, it's the last because
The
we
last?
kept, every, like 2 or 3 months, we kept conflicting with one of the code enforcement.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And then I'll provide a printed copy with everybody's new contact information and everything to you before the next meeting.
I'd like to call this meeting, or this board meeting to session for the Culture and Leisure Services Board. This is our regular meeting of November the 29th, and I'd like to have the roll call at this time.
Larry Holmes,
Here.
Barbara McPeak,
Here.
Douglas Raymond,
Here.
Jean Petrie,
Here.
Maureen Michelle,
Here.
Timothy Bass,
Here.
Mickey Kellum.
Excellent. Do we have perfect attendance? We all get an award tonight for being here, and congratulations to all of you. Especially, our 3 new members, Larry Holmes and Tim Bass and Barbara McPeak. We certainly want to welcome you at this time. It's great to have you on board. This is, to me, I think, a most exciting and challenging board, and having the opportunity to work with Gustavo Vergara and Molly, the 2 great people who have done so much for this board and for this city. And so I think you will really enjoy your stay on the board while you're here. And don't hesitate to contribute, because that's what this is all about. You'll find that we don't always, let's say, each person agree on every issue, but don't be afraid to question or speak up at any time. And if there's any way that, I can help or answer any questions, or our director, Mr. Viega, don't hesitate to ask. At this time, it's public participation time. Any member of the public may address any item that does not appear on the agenda, and any agenda item that is listed there for final official action by the Cultural and Leisure Board. This is your opportunity. If there are issues out there in the city, any suggestions, recommendations by anyone in the audience, now is your time to speak. If there are no questions or suggestions, want to welcome John DiTillo. John holds the record of serving on this board for the longest period of time ever. And he's been certainly a gentleman who's been active, loves this community, and really enjoyed this board so much. Here he is tonight as a member of the audience. John, thanks a million for coming. Okay, at this time, we all received copies of the minutes of our last meeting, which was September the 27th. Did everyone receive a copy?
Yes.
Okay, have you read it? Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of that last meeting in September? Hearing none, I certainly, if anyone would like to move to approve those minutes, please do so.
I'll move to approve the minutes as written.
I second.
Okay, we have a first and we have a second by Doug and Michelle. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone in disfavor? Okay, at this time, we will go to our staff question and comment period for the new members. Our director puts together a packet of information, both he and Molly, and you have that in front of you. And you have a chance, if you have any questions on any of these items, I'm going to turn this portion over to our director.
As Gene clearly stated, what we do is we take the weekly updates, which you guys all get, as far as a report from Culture and Leisure Services. We put a lot of time into that. So we decided years ago to not double our efforts and honestly waste anybody's time here by me regurgitating what you guys are hopefully reading in the weekly update, because they're very comprehensive. So really, we open up this time for any questions that you guys may have. I do want to just give you a quick announcement that we have, first of all, holiday in the city next Friday. As long as the weather holds up, because we got very skunked last Friday Fest. We were expecting an awesome night, and it just didn't happen. But this holiday in the city is going to be really neat. We have, once again, the Cave View Choir and the Cocoa Beach High School String Ensemble that are going to be performing. Now, what we're going to do this year that's different than any other years, we're going to set up that part of the event here somewhere in City Hall. We had an exact location for that stage. We may move it by a few feet now that City Hall's decorated so nicely, but we're going to have the kids here.
Inside?
No, outside,
outside,
still.
okay.
Yep, and we'll set up chairs, we'll set up everything outside with one stage. We're also going to have our normal Friday Fest stage, as well as the library's going to have some stuff going on inside their multi-purpose room, some crafts for the kids. So it is going to be a really neat 3-block kind of complex celebration to really just create a sense of place, and that's always the main intention with all these events. The city's hosting the beer. I don't know if you guys got an email from me at all, because when we put all users, are our boards on those emails, I wonder? I'll have to double check. Because we were looking for volunteers to help serve the beer. Sometimes when the city hosts the beer, part of the proceeds obviously go back to funding the event. That event costs money. So we get to host the event 3 times a year. So the main revenue from the event goes to help pay back for Friday Fest. And that's how we've been able to be so successful with Friday Fest, because it's kind of a very zero-sum event when it comes to the direct cost of the event, the band, the bathrooms, etc. All the tips then go into a separate account, and those go to help fund the student art show. So we use that money to buy the prizes, the gift cards, etc. So, but we do rely on volunteers to crack open those beers and pour the, 900 cups of beer that may get served on that night. So if you guys didn't get that email, I'm going to make sure that from now on, all city boards are included in those all user emails. Did you guys see an
No.
email from me at all?
No.
Okay.
But I
Good.
have gotten it before.
Right, but okay. So when I guess perhaps all users just means inside. For this event, we're covered, luckily. So we're good, because we always have John, who's our finance director. He loves volunteer. You guys have seen him all out there at Friday Fest, so he takes the money.
Doesn't
And then
have to be a board
sometimes, this
member.
time, Mayor Hogue and Council Member Mike Brown are going to be opening the beers. And then Lisa Day, who's the administrative assistant, and Karen Condon, who works at our new Community Services Department, and Cheryl Paleo, who also works in finance. They'll be pouring. So luckily, city employees stepped up to volunteer to do it. But I'll make sure you guys are included because it is a really fun time to just be out there socializing. And, you know, those funds obviously help the department and all our programs. So that we'll end with that at 11, and then we have to be back here at 6 in the morning on Saturday, the 8th, for the reindeer run. So that every 6 years, that's just going to happen, where those two events fall back to back like that. But that's another really neat event because it funds our PAL program. And that's if you've ever seen those PAL kids, I mean, you know, 12 to 15, 16-year-olds on a Friday night performing community service here, you know, every Friday. And now our movies in the park, those young kids are out there helping. It's a great organization. They're all local kids. And so the Reindeer Run funds that program for the year. It helps pay for the staff. It helps pay for their trips. It helps pay for everything they do for the year. The Reindeer Run's are only fundraiser. So if you know somebody who likes to walk, please send them on over that morning. It's a, you know, and here's the neat thing about it is about half of the money really goes in the really cool long sleeve shirts that you get. It goes into paying for the free food that's out there. I mean, Mary Jane Binney, who's a Cocoa Beach High School teacher, retired, but now she's back and she runs the PAL program. For the last 4 months, she has done nothing but canvas businesses and go out there. She's been dealing with Running Zone. I mean, she has been putting a lot of work to make this run possible. Obviously, the city helps by providing day off, you know. But it's a really neat run. We do have all kinds of prizes we give away. So even if you're not good enough to place and get a medal, which this year we have a one-of-a-kind collectible medal that was designed by our community relations. Am I calling that department the right thing? Community Services Department, Joshua Surprenant. He designed the medals. They are awesome. So on the weekly update, if you didn't see them yet, they'll be on there. Yeah, they're right there. That was on the last weekly update. So they're really cool 4 or 5 inch medals. They're huge. But also we have like tickets to Universal, hotel night stays, restaurant gift cards, and those are all raffled just to people that walk and or run. We end up, as a matter of fact, we have so many prizes that we end up just taking whoever's left and putting all their bibs in a pot, and that's how we draw, because the list that we get at the end of the race are just so many numbers, and people leave, so the people that hang out, they end up getting stuff. So it's a really neat race, and it goes to a really great cost. And lastly, then we have our Movie in the Park the following Friday, and that closes out the winter season. And then we get to rest for a little bit when it comes to special events until February. Although we're coming into the Mayor's Fitness Challenge. So we're planning an event, I think, in January, right? Is that when? Oh, second weekend in February. That's right. It's like, it always coincides with the Super Bowl.
Who won it last year?
After that.
Right.
Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach?
They won. I'm not going to get into that, Gene.
You're not going to elaborate on that.
No, I'm still a little sore from that one. But I tell you what, we gave it a heck of a run, and we were right there. So I think they've taken out, because meetings have already started, and Aaron Leidy, who's our recreation coordinator, he, along with Jen Childs, who's the new community engagement person, they're the main captains. So they already went to the meeting with Health First, and they have retooled the program to where we get a better chance again. So we go back to the same formula that it was the first year, that it's residents spending time, and they calculate the formula for points on that percentage of population in relation to time, which is the only way that thing really should be. I mean, so we have a really good chance again this year, and I think we're going to do it. So that, look out, because that'll be coming as well. Outside of that, obviously we have new classes all the time. We have a new beach yoga since we last met. That's really popular. We have a new toddler class called Stumbling Fun, and that class used to be with us. And this lady's really neat because she sets up a full playroom inside our multi-purpose room with tunnels and cones and balls and things for kids to jump. So if you know any little kids, she's working on retooling the times to make it more friendly to stay-at-home moms, which is probably her target demographic. But so those are the last two classes we picked up. And then a Friday night Zumba. So rather than going to a bar, or if you want to pre-party and get some moves down in Zumba, on Friday nights we have a new club Zumba class. So, and that's taught by our assistant instructor, yoga instructor, Doug Shorts. So,
The demolishing of the trailers that served as the youth center, are you now in the old building, the old city hall?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, we are there. It was set up actually mid-summer camp. And what happened is wood termites flew from somewhere into that building. And so they kind of took over inside, and we would always see dust and stuff. And we knew there was something going on, but finally it started to become a lot more on the window. So we kept cleaning it every day, and we had an exterminator and said, yeah, this thing is loaded with wood termites, and so it's probably not the safest place to have kids. So midsummer we made that switch, and it's worked out great so far. It's a way safer for the kids. There's a 2-step check-in system, so kids and random people don't just get to walk in. If you remember the old city hall, you had to be buzzed in. So that's really neat for the person running it, which right now is Mary Jane and another young lady, because kids can come in and then they have time to actually check them in. We can see if we have their information. If we don't have their information, then we call the parent. The parent then is aware that where their child is while they're there. And when the child leaves, then that's it. But at least, we're authenticating that the parent did sign the form for the child, and that we know at least where this kid comes from if they were to get hurt or whatever, or get in trouble.
Very good. The dog park certainly has been an issue for a number of years. And
Yes.
It's moving forward. I think you might want to expound on that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, here's where we're at. I heard from the engineer today, as a matter of fact, and he has his plans ready. So what he's going to do, he's going to send me a copy, and he's going to submit a permit with the city of Cocoa for water. Because what we're going to have there is obviously a drinking fountain for adults and dogs, but we're also going to have a really cool mini splash pad feature for the dogs. So it's going to be here at Xeriscape Park. So if you're familiar with Friday Fest, where that park where we put the exercise machines, the west side of that park, we're going to fence off. We're going to extend the sidewalk from the existing shared parking lot that we use with Brevard County Sheriff's Office. There's that small cutout of sidewalk to nowhere there. We're going to expand that west into where across the street from the Nancy Hansen Recreation Complex, and we're going to create a crossover there, a crosswalk, so people can walk across. From there, the sidewalk will head north into the dog park, and it's going to be sectioned off, half for bigger dogs, half for small dogs. It's going to be all synthetic turf. We're going to put a few toys in there and some benches. So that I'm aware of, I know Vieira just opened a small little synthetic turf dog park, but ours is going to blow theirs out of the water because ours is public. And 2, we're going to have some play features that they don't. So we're going to have definitely the neatest dog park anywhere.
Are you going to have any doggy bags there?
Yes, sir, absolutely, at
Very
the
good.
entrance. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is there anyone on the board here that has any comments on any of the issues thus far, or?
I'd just like to comment on the monster mash, and that was awesome. It was so good and so well organized. You guys did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. We've worked with them for a long time, and I love that they are now really welcoming the fold of being part of special events, because for a long time it was like, well, we're the county, and it's like, no, you guys are here. You're here. This is your community, and I think they've bought into that. And it's really neat. And I think this Christmas event should be awesome as well. I think they're planning some really fun stuff in there. Yeah. No, unfortunately not, because that's where we store all the beer. And so it'd be weird to be having to run in there and grab cases of beer and ice and yeah.
But this event coming up, Friday Fest, you have enough volunteers for the beer
We do
truck?
for this one,
Okay.
yep. And I'll be sure next time. Next year, I believe we're hosting it again, October, November, and December. Those seem to be good months for us. A, because usually the weather cooperates and we're not stressing so much. And B, because a lot of the snowbirds start to come back, and so it's good for the event for us to have some of those really good months. And if you guys know any nonprofits, by the way, that would like to vend the beer at Friday Fest and they want to raise some couple dollars for their organization, the opportunity is always there for them as long as they fall within the parameters of having a 501c3 and getting the insurance. So there is some upfront costs. So that scares some smaller nonprofits sometimes. But, we work with them and we work them through the process. And it works a little different now with Carol Distributing, who sells all the beer, but we always lay it out for them. And it's a good little fundraiser for, you have organizations that in one fundraiser will raise $100,000. Well, this isn't the event for them. But if your organization is more into like the car wash and selling baked goods, then this is a great event because you get to make way more than you would on a Saturday washing cars. So
What would they earn?
it varies, Gene, anywhere from
Ballpark.
500 to 1,500 in one night.
Okay.
It's Carol Distributing, and little by little, they have eliminated their program that helps nonprofits and municipalities with beer. So now they deliver nothing anymore. They don't even loan you coolers. So as a city, we had to buy coolers. Those coolers we use now? They used to provide those. Nope, they said, we're not even delivering anything. So now we have to, we bought coolers. We have to go pick up the beer the day of over there and pay for it. So now it's ours. And so if we have any beer left, what we're going to do is then sell it to the nonprofit that's coming at the next month, at cost, obviously. But at least that's less beer than they have to pick up. We have, years worth of invoices of kind of how much beer goes per month. So we can estimate pretty close. Now for a nonprofit, it's a lot easier to keep a bunch of cases of beer because they can just all drink it, or give it to whoever, and it's theirs. With the city, everything has to be a lot more closely watched. So, yeah.
Are there any other questions?
I've got a couple.
Yes.
What happened to the chess set out by the library?
Yeah, it's there. We put it out, when, obviously if we had a request ever, it goes right out. But
Okay.
yeah, lately, our maintenance staff who puts it out daily, they've been involved in decorating City Hall, crossover, dog park. They had to rebuild that bridge because all the steps are in motion. I already have almost everything for that dog park. It's just a matter of finally getting water, running pipes, etc. But
Oh, that's great. I thought it shut down or something because
No,
every
no.
day it used to come out, all the pieces, and then go back into the
yeah,
to the
yeah.
little cage there.
I wish we could leave them out, honestly, but I
Yeah.
think they'll.
I don't think you could leave them out.
Do you have another question, Larry?
The second one was, I always thought we changed the rules. Aren't all the parks open to dogs now?
They are
in the city?
unleashed. That's right. This is
Okay.
going to be unleashed.
Okay.
Yeah.
The new dog park. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
At Xeriscape. But yes, at events and in parks, you can walk, except the beach, obviously, you can walk your dog on a leash. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? If none, we're going to move to old business at this time. One of the items that I'd like to question is the art show. I'd like to get a report, if I can, on the art show as to attendance, how the event ran, and comments, negative, positive. Do we get any feedback?
Not yet. Anecdotally, I attended, and I heard from attendees and people that, Saturday was a pretty well-attended day. I went on Sunday afternoon, and it looked like attendance was down a bit already because I went a little closer to closing time. From my end, no pipes were broken, and the park wasn't almost flooded, so that was a home run for me. Because compared to last year, where I got a call at 7 a.m. that the park was flooding, so from that end, it was good. Whatever internal issues we had didn't necessarily affect the event. I think personally, we're into year 2 of their 5-year agreement with the city. I think they had a meeting last week. That was the first meeting they've had since the show, so we haven't necessarily heard from them either positive or negative. Yeah, but when I attended, I know how many of you guys went, but I saw a lot of local folks there that walking around, so it was pretty good. But I don't know how they did, Gene.
I had one other item, and that for Molly Thomas, you want to comment on the Irma canoe project? How did that go?
Very good. Did you go see it yet?
No.
It's right there.
Yeah,
outside.
look in the window.
You're less than 100 feet away from it right now. But if you'd like, after the meeting, you can go check it out. And I can answer any questions in there that you like. I got an email yesterday, actually. One of the ladies that worked on the dendrochronology from the University of Tennessee, and one of the ladies that worked on the carbon-14 dating from the University of Georgia have partnered up, and they got a research stipend to do a new kind of test, which it's new to the Southeast U.S. It's very common over in Europe, but they're going to try to narrow our date down a little bit better. And it'll be the first time that test is used in the Southeast U.S. ever. So we're kind of on the ground floor of what could be a kind of a breakthrough on that. So I've been working with the state to get them the permissions they need to do the sample. It won't be taken from the display sample. It'll be tiny little pieces that'll be taken off the end that was already removed that I actually have possession of that was used for the dendrochronology.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else under old business? If none, we'll move on to new business. Any new business items to be brought before this board?
I have something that I just would like to announce. I don't know whether the VFW and American Legion have gotten all the paperwork back to you about the cancer walk on February 9th. We're partnering with the American Legion and the VFW are partnering together to do a cancer.
A gentleman came in yesterday that had no idea what he was looking for and had no details on the event, but he had a copy of the outdoor event entertainment permit.
Yeah, it starts at registration at 8 o'clock at the VFW, and then the walk to the Legion, and it ends at the Legion. The walk starts at 9 o'clock, registration at 8.
Well, I told him what the city required to do outdoor events, and he said he would go try to find the answers to those questions.
That's the quartermaster. I'll talk to him.
Yes.
There was also a lady that called me, Val. I spoke to Val and gave her all of the pertinent information and followed it up with an email. And she, yeah. Yeah.
I'll get it for you tomorrow.
And here's the beauty of what you guys are doing. It's a walk on sidewalks. So really, that goes miles and miles for this thing for you guys, because you're honestly not going to be impacting much if it's just a walk on sidewalks. Right. So that's good. But yeah, just please make sure we have a good site map and That would be a home run, Nikki, and let's work on that. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
At the Legion.
At the Legion.
The Legion.
Okay.
Did
Free
they
breakfast?
Did they send you the letter?
Free
of
breakfast?
intent? VFW or the Legion?
No, nobody said. Is there going to be free breakfast? No.
Also, if there's anyone in this room that would like to sponsor or make a donation on the walk, I've got a form here. I'll gladly accept your donation and put you down, have you sign.
Thank you.
For the years, and all the money they raise, they either
Nice. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's the key to it, Mickey. The monies go to the county, Brevard County.
Yeah.
American Cancer Society, not
Yes.
the Nationals.
Yeah. Can I add one little thing? Molly, you want to let him know about the new Poet Laureate program, please?
It was brought to our attention that we actually have a very rich and diverse literary community. I knew we had some authors in town, but I didn't know we had poets in town. So the idea was proposed through the Florida League of Cities on a broad scape that, poet laureates can do a lot to promote a community's culture and just educational ideas in general. So it was brought to us by one of our council members, and we made it happen, and we've already started accepting applications. It's a blind application process, so apart from the cover letter, everything else that gets submitted, there will be no names on it. It is only open to residents, residents of all ages. But we got our first application in today, and the press release went out 2 days ago. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's for a poet laureate? Is that what,
Yes.
for the city of Cape Canaveral?
It'll be the city's first poet laureate, and we'll be the first city in the county to have a poet laureate.
Oh, that's cool.
Any other new business? No one? I have no other items at this time, and if there is no additional or new business to transpire at this time, we certainly accept a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Mr.
second that.
Holmes makes a motion to adjourn, and it's seconded by Mrs. McPeak. At this time, our meeting has been concluded with one note. The screen in front of you will share the fact that our next meeting is January the 31st. Keep in mind that at this meeting is going to be a organizational meeting as well at the very beginning. The appointment of a chairman and vice chairman for this board will take place at that time. So that's something that needs everyone's attention, and this time the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all. Congratulations on perfect attendance. Hopefully it will continue each and every meeting, but we realize from time to time things, business comes up and one can't make it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
How much you gonna donate to the cancer?
I knew you'd hit me up.